How can you be the star of your life? I discuss this and more with my very special guest, actress and author Leslie Zemeckis, on today's episode of The Little White Lie. Welcome to The Little White Lie Show, a lifestyle show for super boomers and beyond that will enhance your lifestyle, health, empowerment, and more. Hello, everyone. Caren here, and welcome to The Little White Lie. I am so excited that you're here today. If you're here on replay, we're delighted you're here on replay. Make sure you comment below, and we will make sure to comment right back. If you are here live, even better, let us know that you're here live. And when you comment, we'll pop your comments right up on the screen. And if you're so inclined, we would love you forever if you will share the show out to your network so that everyone out there can see what you see. Today's guest is awesome. I am beyond excited that this guest agreed to join me. She has been all over the country promoting this amazing book that we're going to talk about. Her name is Leslie Zemeckis. She is an actress, an author, and an award-winning documentarian, an expert historian of early American pop culture. She is currently crisscrossing across the country promoting her most recent bestseller, Feuding Fangirls. And today, her next stop is with us here on The Little White Lie. And so I welcome Leslie to the show. Leslie, how are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you.
I am, as I said, delighted that you're here. And we like to always start the show with this question, asking all of our guests, Leslie Zemeckis, what is your little white lie?
Oh, so you're starting with that. Okay. I think my little white lie, because I say it all the time, is there are not enough hours in the day, which I think about there really are enough hours in the day. If you use them right, if you cherish them, if you organize them, and I think also if you forgive yourself, waste some of those hours, I think a lot can be accomplished in a day.
I love that answer. I love that answer because I say that all the time. There's just not enough hours in the day, right? And yet we all have the same amount of hours. We just have to use them wisely.
Yes, exactly. I mean, what would we do with more hours?
Oh, God forbid. We would multitask even more because we're women. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. So today's topic is so timely. Your book is timely. Having you on the show is timely because just yesterday, the election, and over 100 women were voted into Congress. That's just crazy, right? It's awesome. It's not a bad crazy. It's a good crazy.
It's a good crazy.
You are very, very interested, and you have followed this journey on following burlesque, and you have books out, and you have movies out, and you have a new book out. What is the fascination? How did you get involved in burlesque?
I was as an actress, I was doing a one-woman show that was very a cabaret style. The character I had created was burlesque, or I thought she was, based on Mae West and Gypsy Rose Lee. And then I realized, I don't even know what burlesque means. So I started looking it up, and nothing had been done from the performer's point of view, really. I couldn't find out who these women in particular, what their story was, where they came from, what happened afterwards, how they even got into it. So it kind of obsessed me. And I started talking. I found some that had been, worked in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Right. And I thought, you know what? I want to give voice to these women. And so I did a documentary, and from that, a book. And so it's partly burlesque, but it's also that early American pop culture, which involves the circus and vaudeville.
Right.
Things that still inform our entertainment today that we're not even aware of.
So you have a new book that's out. It's a bestseller already. In fact, I think it was a bestseller almost before it even went out the gate. So, which says a lot about you, and it says, there it is. And actually, I was going to go throw that thing up right now. There we go. Okay. So you don't have to have the little thing.
Never without my fan.
Never without your fan. So tell us a little bit about, I love the title, Feuding Fan Dancers, but it's about two fan dancers, Sally Rand, right? And Faith Bacon. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sally was really the most well-known. She became famous in 1933 World's Fair working in Chicago. But Faith had been on Broadway as a Ziegfeld girl with also her fan dance. And so they both claimed to be the originators of the dance. They had a very public feud. In fact, Faith sued Sally, saying it was her dance and, you know, nobody else should do it. And so it's really looking at that culture of not, they weren't per se burlesque. They were more the traditional showgirl, the Broadway showgirl, even though they did perform club.
So, I mean, I know you talk about feminism and you talk about that in terms of the different books and the different documentaries and the mockumentaries you've done. Are you a feminist?
Of course.
So how would you
woman?
So how do you define feminism? So what makes you a feminist?
I think the public, really publicly, you know, in however voice you have of really defending and promoting women and their stories, their rights, whatever they want to do, really being a champion for women. I happen to look backwards a lot because they didn't have a chance. They had a different voice, a lesser of a voice than just showing women today what these women had to go through when it was really a stigma. There was really less choices for work, and to be nude and dancing, you know, really had quite a stigma on it. Still does today. I get asked all the time, oh, but they were really prostitutes, right? As if one equals the other.
Exactly. So you're out there on the road. I know that you literally are bouncing back and forth across the coast and meeting all these people, meeting a lot of people that are interested and excited. What are some of the comments that you're getting as they come to get the book signed? I got the book back up, so as people get a chance to see your book, we're going to be telling you how to get a copy, by the way, in just a little bit. But what are some of the comments that you're getting out there when you're out there talking about this?
What I really liked to hear is that I had no idea. You know, one, I didn't know it was this big industry. I didn't know they were so famous. I didn't know the kind of, you know, it's really like a self-produced show all for really burlesque and for these two in particular. You know, they created their own act. They bring in the music. So it's really, they were doing everything on their own, you know, including building their set sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely. There's great pictures of Sally. You know, Sally would pull into and ladder out and her hammer and go up there and climb and put together her show.
A one-woman band, right? Who did everything.
Yeah, you had to. You know, nobody else was helping. Or if they did, it wasn't to their standards. I mean, they had very high standards of what they were doing with art, and they wanted it to shade.
So, I mean, as I listen to you talk, and I listen to you talk about the women who have been so involved in this and the groundbreaking, I think, how does that layer over what's happening in our world today, in our society today? I asked you if you're a feminist. We're talking about burlesque. You said that some people ask, aren't they prostitutes? I mean, how does this lay on top of what we have in our society today? Do we have would they have been considered feminists back then?
Not back then. Looking back today, I think we would. I don't know that we, because they weren't out saying, yes, you know, we should have the rights and us strippers should do this. I don't think at the time they would be looked at it. But what they did was really groundbreaking, and they really stood up for themselves, saying, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, this is an art. This is what I want to do. I'm supporting myself. I'm supporting the family. I'm on the road. I'm working all the time. And I think we can look at it now. You talk about the layer. It's like having less judgment on labels. We always are labels. Oh, they're strippers. Or my second film is about Siamese twins. Oh, they're freaks in the circus. So we don't go behind what does that mean? You can't just be on a stripper. You know, there's a person there. And, you know, but so I think that's becoming just really less judgmental about, especially at that time, choices.
I think that's probably very true what you're saying. I think that so when you go and you do these book signings, I've seen some pictures. You actually have some fan dancers. Are those?
Yeah, for most of them, as long as there's space in the venue, I'd say 90% of them, I've had a fan dancer, a local fan dancer come in. So it really, I'll do a reading, I'll talk about them, but I don't think people really have an idea what, fan, what do you do with a fan? I mean, and some of these girls are just, they're gorgeous. So it really just, presents what this is.
So how, if somebody wants to come out and actually go to a book signing, I know you have a whole list of books. Would they go to your website?
They can go to my website or on Facebook. I'm under Leslie Zemeckis, and everything's listed there. All the upcoming, like the next 2 weeks, is really day after day.
So I'm putting up your website right now, lesliezemeckis.com. I'm also putting up your Facebook page if people want to go out and check it out that way so that they can see you and come out. And guys, if you do go out and see Leslie and go to the book signer, make sure you tell them that you saw her on The Little White Lie so she knows from whence to come, right?
Absolutely.
So I really want to now talk about this book, and I want to just talk about how people can get it, and talk about maybe a couple of your favorite parts in the book that people can look for when they're reading the book. Where do you direct them? What's the first thing that they should be noticing when they open up this book?
Oh, well, it's absolutely a stunningly beautiful book. I mean, you can't tell so much in the picture, but there's the gold. They just did. My publisher's did a really beautiful job of and you think of it, the Showgirl was about show, and it was about beauty, and it was really about the industry of beauty. So I think the book very much reflects that. I think if you just read the 4 or 5 pages of the prologue, you will be sucked in. It's the reason I wrote the book, why I spent 5 years. Why does one have a tragic ending? Why does the other one not? There's a lot of answers to that. But it is, like I said, really also about the industry of beauty at the time and who had it, why, and was it worth it?
Right. As Joey says, the story behind the stories is fascinating, right? The stories behind the stories. I'm putting up, so I've got Amy who said, agreed, they did what they needed to do at the time, the fan dancers.
And also they weren't doing anything wrong. I mean, it was a really huge, both burlesque and the showgirl vaudeville. It was a big industry. I mean, these women and men were the comedians and others could work night after night, week after week for years and years and years. It was a big, big industry.
Big industry.
Yes, you can make a really good living. You can have a huge fan base, and a lot of them were stars. I mean, Sally, we certainly mostly remember today. Faith, not so much, but she was a huge star. In 1930s, she was in a show on Broadway, Earl Carroll, who was Big Bill's rival. And you could be nude on a Broadway show, perfectly legal. This has nothing to do with burlesque, a legitimate Broadway show. And so Faith was there with her 2 fans standing there nude, and she came up with the idea, well, if I move, I'll just cover myself. It got her arrested still.
Wow.
It was a matinee show. The show had just opened a couple days earlier. By that night, the show was sold out, and it was for the rest of the run. And she became a huge, huge star. Everybody knew who Faith Bacon was.
I love it. She disrupted things, didn't she?
Yeah.
Totally a disruption.
Absolutely. It's a good idea.
I think it's awesome. For those of you who are watching right now and you want to know how to get Leslie's book, if you go to at the superboomerlifestyle.com, Leslie's book is front and center. You can click on the link and pick up the book, and you can check out her other books as well. She's got lots of different books in there as well. She's very well versed. I have a question for you, and that is, what is something that people don't know about you, even your best friends, that you want to just expose and be vulnerable on The Little White Lie?
Don't know about me. Well, one thing my husband knows, he always laughs about, is I have many, they're not fears, but what are they? It's the opposite of fears. It's like, not foibles.
Challenges?
No. Like, almost superstitions. Like, oh no, I'm not going to walk under a ladder. Or I have fears of, if there's on the news about a prison outbreak, I'm convinced those people are coming to get me. So they're not real fears. I forget what the word is. He uses it all the time.
So those of you who are listening, I'd be curious to hear, do you have a similar kind of thing? You watch the news, you read something, and you immediately think, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
Right. It's all about me, and it's going to happen to me. I'd be curious to hear if you're watching live or even on replay. Tell us if you have that same kind of hidden thing that now everybody knows.
Phobia, not fears.
It's a phobia. There you go. Phobias. I have a thing about spiders, arachnophobia. So
I cannot stand them.
Yeah. So we have told everyone how they can get in touch with you. They know that they can go to your Facebook page, which is leslie.zemeckis.5. They can go to your Instagram and follow you there at Leslie Zemeckis. And they can also go to your Twitter, which is also at Leslie Zemeckis. And I am sure. And what I know about you, Leslie, already is that if your name is tagged in there, you tend to want to reply and tweet it out, retweet it out. You are very active on your accounts, or maybe you have somebody doing it for you. But
I do not have anybody do my stuff. I do my own research. I do my own social media because.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. Why not? And I think that's awesome. That even more than I want to really thank you, because I know that you've been sharing out our tweets and the things that we have out there. So we thank you for that. And that's just a heads up for our people listening. You want to get Leslie's attention and tweet out her book. She would love that, I am sure. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with us?
I just think it's a very special time for women and to celebrate all different kinds of women doing all kinds of different things. And the only other thing I would like to say is I cherish words, I cherish stories. I would like to see more people reading, not just it's something very important to fill your brain with stories, with inspiration.
Right.
And so go read a book.
I love it. Susan
But
says,
mine in particular.
Yes, well, I was going to say, don't just read any old book. You want to read Leslie's book. And I encourage you, again, go check out her site and go find out where she's going to be, because she's going to be coming to a location near you. I know that you're actually coming to a location near me. I'm actually considering getting in my car and driving over to Palm Springs to see you.
You should. It'll be fun.
Yeah, because you're going to be there soon. I know that. So, Leslie, thank you again for taking time to join us on the show. We are so appreciative. I'm going to drop you into the green room as I finish off the show. And again, to all of our people that are watching right now, give Leslie some love. Go check out the Super Boomer Lifestyle. Check out her book and go check her out at one of the signing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So guys, what I'd like to right now is go into the Super Boomer moment. One of the things that really strikes me at this time, and we didn't plan the show around the election. We planned the show just kind of like on its own. Let's have Leslie on and do the show. And as I watched the election yesterday and realized that over 100 women have taken, are now seated in government, in Congress. How amazing what is happening in our world today is. Are you a feminist? Am I a feminist? Is Leslie a feminist? These are all these questions that we want to see as women, as we step into this amazing world that we're in. And that is the Super Boomer moment. And again, I want to encourage you to go out to the superboomerlifestyle.com. Check out Leslie's book. She's got that book and she's got many more. Go ahead. You want to order it, find out what all this is about, the fan dancers, and go check her out as well to go see her at an upcoming show. All right, guys, we know that you have a choice as to where you spend your time, and we are eternally grateful that you chose to spend your time with me and Leslie today. We want you to go out and give somebody an awesome, awesome day, and join us next week on the next episode of The Little White Lie. Goodbye, everyone.